If you think heart disease is something that happens to other people or something you don't really need to worry about or maybe need to worry about someday, I need you to hear this. Heart disease is the #1 killer of women, more than all cancers combined. But here's what should give you hope. You have way more control over your heart health than you might realize. And everything you thought you knew about protecting your heart, well, some of it was based on studies done almost entirely on men. My name is Traci D. Mitchell. I'm a Mayo Clinic health and wellness coach certified through the National Board of Medical Educators. I hold a master's degree in health and nutrition education, and I'm the author of the book, The Belly Burn Plan. And for the last 20 plus years, I have been working with women just like you. Today we're talking about the Women's Health Initiative, a groundbreaking study that literally changed how we understand women's heart health. You're gonna walk away with evidence-based strategies for what to eat, how to move, and most importantly, confidence in the choices that you make for your heart health. Let me tell you a story that changed everything. In 1991, researchers launched the largest study ever conducted specifically on women's health, the Women's Health Initiative. Now, you might be thinking, why was studying women specifically such a big deal? Here's the thing that might surprise you. For decades, medical recommendations for women were based on studies done almost exclusively on men. Researchers literally assumed that women's hearts worked the same way as men's hearts. The Women's Health Initiative said, let's actually study women and see what we learn. What they discovered changed medical practice forever. Take hormone replacement therapy, for example. For years, doctors prescribed it thinking it protected all women's hearts. The Women's Health Initiative revealed that the picture was much more complex. Certain types of hormone therapy increased heart disease risk for some women, while others could benefit from it safely. This wasn't about science being wrong, it was about finally getting nuanced data on women specifically. Today, doctors can work with you individually to determine if HRT is right for you, your unique situation, considering factors like your age, the timing of when you start, and even the specific type of hormones used. But here's the really empowering part of what they learn. Your daily choices, what you eat, how you move, whether you manage stress, all of those have a profound impact on your heart health, often more impact than your genetics. And while heart disease is common, it's not inevitable. You have way more control than you might think. Now, some of you might be thinking, if medical recommendations keep changing, how do I know what to believe? And I get it, but here's the thing. Science isn't being wishy-washy when it evolves. It's getting better at helping you. When the Women's Health Initiative changed our understanding of hormone therapy, that wasn't a failure of science, that was science working exactly as it should. We got better data, so we gave better recommendations. The same thing happens with nutrition and exercise research. What this means for you is staying curious about new research while focusing on foundational principles that have stood the test of time, and working with your healthcare providers who stay current with the evidence. This isn't to chase every headline, it's to make informed decisions based on the best available science. Now let's talk about what the research consistently shows actually protects women's hearts. And I'm not going to give you another restrictive diet plan. What I'm sharing is a sustainable way of eating that's been studied for decades. Study after study show that eating a Mediterranean-style diet pattern is one of your heart's best friends, as is plant-based. This isn't about perfection, it's about patterns. Think of it as building meals around foods that love your heart back. Fatty fish like salmon and sardines a couple of times a week. They're packed with omega-3s that can reduce inflammation. Eat plenty of colorful vegetables and fruits. Dark leafy greens, berries, oranges, vegetables, they're all especially powerful. Whole grains like quinoa and oats that give you sustained energy, and a small handful of nuts and seeds daily. Olive oil is your go-to cooking fat, and beans and lentils because they're a powerhouse of protein that can actually help you lower cholesterol. Here's a simple way to think about building heart-healthy meals. Fill half your plate with vegetables and fruits, 1/4 with lean protein, fish, poultry, beans, eggs, and 1/4 with whole grains. And add a source of healthy fat like olive oil or avocado. You really don't need to overthink it. A real-life example might be something like grilled salmon with roasted Brussels sprouts and a sweet potato drizzled with olive oil, maybe some herbs. It's simple, it's delicious, and it's very heart protective. Don't be afraid to wash, rinse, repeat. Now let's talk about movement. The research is crystal clear on what kinds of exercise protect women's hearts the most and most effectively. And the good news is that you don't need to become a marathon runner. The gold standard is more or less 150 minutes of moderate activity or 75 minutes of vigorous activity a week. That could be a really brisk walk, some swimming, cycling, dancing, and hiking. And here's the thing, you can break this into 10-minute chunks throughout the day. So figure out when you can just pepper it in and get moving whenever you have an opportunity. And don't forget about strength training. 2 to 3 sessions per week working all your major muscle groups. This helps you build your muscle mass, it improves your metabolism, it strengthens your bones too, and that's a huge thing that we women need to think about. The key is finding what you actually love. If you love dancing, perfect. If you prefer to be in nature, then go hiking. If you're a social person, then join a rec sports league. The research shows that even a small amount of movement provides heart benefits, and a 10-minute walk after dinner, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, doing some stretches while you're watching TV, all of that really counts. Now let's talk about knowing your numbers. There are some key metrics that you really want to keep track of regularly. Your blood pressure should be less than 120/80 for women. Don't forget to get your cholesterol levels checked, and let me break this down for you because understanding these numbers gives you real power. Your lipid panel shows 4 different numbers, and they each tell a different story. LDL cholesterol, that's often considered the bad cholesterol because it's high levels that can contribute to plaque buildup in your arteries. HDL cholesterol is considered your good one, and it actually helps to remove cholesterol from your arteries and transport it back to your liver. Think of HDL as the cleanup crew. Then there are triglycerides, and these aren't cholesterol at all. They're a type of fat that's in your blood that tends to go up when you eat too much sugary food or refined carbohydrates, or if you drink too much alcohol. High triglycerides can increase heart disease risk, especially for women. Now here's what I focus on with my clients, keeping LDL and triglycerides in a healthy range while working to nudge up HDL. And the good news, you can absolutely improve your lipid profile through the foods you eat and how you move. Regular exercise is one of the best ways to boost HDL. Omega-3 rich fish can help lower triglycerides, and reducing refined sugars, processed foods, and alcohol can make a significant difference in these numbers as well. But here's something that doesn't get talked about enough. Stress management. It's as important as diet, it's as important as exercise, all of those things for your heart. Chronic stress significantly impacts heart health, especially for women. And there's another factor that's often overlooked, your body composition. Research shows that hormone changes during perimenopause and menopause don't just affect your heart directly, they also change how your body stores fat. The shift from storing fat in your hips and your thighs to storing fat around your midsection isn't just cosmetic. Abdominal fat is far more inflammatory, and it's harder on your heart. So a few simple stress reducers that actually work is deep breathing, box breathing. Breathing exercises just for 5 minutes a day can lower blood pressure. Getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night supports healthy heart rhythm. Strong social connections literally protect your heart, and this is backed by research. And mindfulness or meditation, even 10 minutes a day, show measurable benefits. As for that body composition change, strength training becomes even more important during and after menopause because it helps to preserve muscle mass and can help maintain healthier fat distribution patterns. There are some things that are specific to women that are important to understand. During menopause, estrogen levels decline. Heart disease risk increases. This is completely normal, but it's manageable. Keep prioritizing cardiovascular exercise, pay attention to your cholesterol and your blood pressure, and definitely discuss heart health with your doctor during this transition. If you've been pregnant, that experience can affect your long-term heart health as well. High blood pressure during pregnancy, like preeclampsia or gestational diabetes, these can increase your future heart disease risk. Use this information as motivation to establish heart-healthy habits. Don't be afraid of it. And let's talk about heart attack symptoms in women because they can be different from what you see in the movies. Yes, chest pain or maybe some pressure, that's a classic sign, but women may also experience shortness of breath, nausea, back pain, jaw pain, and usually fatigue. Trust your instincts. If something feels seriously wrong, talk to a healthcare practitioner. Now let's create your action plan. This week, add 1 serving of vegetables, that's it, to your daily routine. Take a 10-minute walk after each meal. Practice 5 minutes of deep breathing before bed. There you go. You're knocking out diet, exercise, and stress. This month, try 1 new heart-healthy recipe each week. Build up to 30 minutes of movement most day and schedule your annual checkup and get to know your numbers. Long-term, develop a sustainable eating plan based on those Mediterranean or plant-based principles that we talked about. Find physical activities that you really like, that you enjoy. And don't forget to build a support network that encourages your healthy choice. It's who you surround yourself with that make a big difference too. So before I wrap up, I want to share some exciting developments from recent research that are genuinely game-changing for women's heart health. Now, these studies show how technology and science are working in our favor. First, researchers at the George Institute for Global Health just published findings in the Journal of Heart showing that artificial intelligence can analyze your routine mammogram to predict heart disease risk as accurately as traditional cardiovascular risk calculators. Think about this. You're already getting mammograms for breast cancer screening, and now that same test could give you critical information about your heart health too. So do something with that information and ask your physician about that type of technology. There's also breakthrough research published in the New England Journal of Medicine showing that a simple blood test measuring inflammation and specific fats can predict a woman's cardiovascular risk 30 years into the future. This gives us unprecedented ability to identify and prevent problems decades before they might occur. The Women's Health Initiative and decades of research have given us a clear roadmap for protecting women's hearts. You now have evidence-based knowledge about nutrition that nourishes rather than restricts, movements that strengthen, and lifestyle approaches that are sustainable for real life. Your heart health journey isn't about perfection, it's about making informed choices that worked for your life, staying curious as science evolves, and trusting in your power to create positive change. Every health choice that you make is an investment in your future. If you want to dive deeper into how your hormones specifically affect your heart health and overall wellness, I've created a 3-minute hormone assessment. The link is in the description below. Your heart is strong, your knowledge is powerful, and your ability to live a heart-healthy life is completely within your reach. Check out the link in the description.